Epstein. Dan, name a Republican besides Donald Trump who's been linked to Epstein.
That's a current member.
Not a business, not a
A
business,
current
not a
member.
business person. Someone who's been involved in Republican administrations or elective office. Name anybody.
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, the president's been saying this for a while. It's a Democratic scandal. It all involves Democrats. He ordered his attorney general to do an investigation of Democrats. Then yesterday, got publicity that Hakeem Jeffries had a fundraising firm that reached out to Epstein. He was asked about it last night on CNN. This is number 110, please.
Ask you about you because the White House has been highlighting an email that I'm sure you've seen today that Jeffrey Epstein got in 2013. They say it shows you were soliciting money and dinner from an Epstein. The email was not sent from you. It was sent from a political consulting firm called Dynamic SRG that says, "We are thrilled to announce we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. Shoot us an email or give us a call if you would like to get involved." What's your response? Do you recall that email being sent to Jeffrey Epstein from that team?
Yeah, of course, I have no recollection of the email. I've never had a conversation with him, never met him, know nothing about him other than the extreme things that he's been convicted of doing. And that's why, I'm just strongly supportive of the effort, backing the survivors to make sure that everything can come out.
Okay.
Whatever is in those.
Jump out of this.
Department.
Larry Summers now, as best I can tell, has lost every professional affiliation he has, with the exception of Harvard, hasn't fired him as a professor yet. This morning, the latest, he stepped down from the OpenAI board. I don't know that he was forced to resign, but I bet he was. And that's a business. But even the Center for American Progress, a staple of the left wing and of the Democratic Party, they forced Larry Summers out as well. So, Dan, is the president right that not only is this in the abstract a Democratic problem, but it's a Democratic problem? All the people who are having trouble now, like Larry Summers, Hakeem Jeffries, we saw the gentlelady from the Virgin Islands. Democrats have a big problem for something that they forced.
No, they don't. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's not. It is a societal problem. There are rich Democrats. There are rich Republicans. Look, as a fundraiser, okay, I have said I emailed and spoke once with Jeffrey Epstein because I had a client who said reach out to him to ask if he would attend a fundraiser. Most members of Congress have a couple 100,000 donors. You do not know who your staff is reaching out to all day, every day, sending blast emails, sending individual emails. Donald Trump, I bet, does not know all 4 million donors. I'm going to take a guess.
True. But if you take
the idea that this is a Democratic problem, the question goes to, first off, this is because Republicans kept saying the Democrats were hiding pedophiles, right? That's the last 4 years. It's all we heard from the right. Many people in government now. And now the question is, what did Donald Trump know and when did he know it? The average American doesn't care about Larry Summers.
Well, just to be clear, I'm talking about the difference between what is and what ought to be. I'm saying what is Larry Summers is a very senior figure in the Democratic Party. He's just had his life destroyed.
No, he hasn't been, Mark, for 25 years.
Really? He was an advisor to Joe Biden. He was in the White House regularly giving Joe Biden instructions about the economy. He was.
Okay. But Mark, Leon Black was close to a lot of Republicans. So what do you, I mean, Mark, you're rolling your eyes. If you're going to attempt to say this is a Democratic scandal, don't.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is,
said to me.
What I'm saying is that based on the first disclosure, and based on the fact that there's now a Justice Department investigation ordered by the president of Democrats, it's more likely that Democrats it seems to me, are going to be caught up in this, particularly because, with the exception of Donald Trump, who cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein over a decade ago.
Hold on, he said that. I mean, nobody knows. I mean, that's it.
True, but there's no evidence that he didn't. But let's Sean in a second. But I'm just saying, Dan, all I'm saying is, right now I see Larry Summers, a leading figure in the Democratic Party for decades, and currently he was with the Center for American Progress. He was an advisor to Joe Biden. He's been taken down by this. I don't see any Republican taken down, and I continue to say there are Democrats whose names have come up. Not Hakeem Jeffries. I agree with your analysis there, but it's been reporting this morning that the Republican opposition research teams are now going to highlight everything related to any Democrat.
Well, that's fine.
They've got people they can highlight. Sean,
great.
So, look, I said this from the jump that Democrats better be careful what they wish for. And I think it's all going to come home to roost right now. Because, look, the bottom line is that this is who this guy palled around with more. So the odds are just simply that they're
Oh, I'd be careful with that.
Okay, I mean, but to your point,
Careful with that.
you're maybe I should, but I'm telling you that I think that there might be business people, CEO types, etc. But look, one, I'll just preface this to Dan's point earlier, like I sign fundraising letters all the time. I take pictures with people. I mean, Saturday night I was at a book signing and I think I took 20 pictures. I don't know who the heck. Well, I'm sorry if you were one of those people, but
he loves you all the same.
There's a difference between all of that, which is kind of part of politics. Like Hakeem Jeffries, I get it. He doesn't know. But Stacey Plaskett and all these people who are like, you're texting with them, you're involved with them, you can't walk away from that. And that's where this issue is going to be a problem for all these people who had a relationship with him it's one thing to say, I was at an event, I didn't know who he was over there. But when like Katie Couric walked into an event and they said to her, you didn't see all the young girls taking your coat, serving you drinks. And I mean, there's a point at which it doesn't pass the smell test.
Dan, what would, well, let me ask it this way. You've got a member of the Democratic caucus who was getting real-time advice from Jeffrey Epstein after he'd been convicted. Okay. Yep. Larry Summers is lost everything. And I don't hear any Democrats saying this is not fair to Larry Summers. Not one. To the contrary, they're all cheering this on. And yet they've circled the wagons around a member of the caucus. Why? What's the difference between those two cases?
The Stacey Plaskett stuff, they shouldn't, just like they shouldn't have circled around the guy from Chicago over what he attempted to do to engineer his replacement. I mean, I get it. The Plaskett stuff was bonkers.
Why are they circling the wagons around her?
Because they always protect their own.
Right. That's
just the reality of it. It's just like, why did they not censure her? Because Democrats threatened to turn around and censure a Republican. And the Republican said, all right, it's a mutually assured destruction. We'll all stop. It's what the public hates.
But I think the problem, though, Mark, to your other problem is you can't and again, this is as I said, this is what happens when you do this. If these guys built this all up, we've got to, suddenly the summer stuff starts coming out. Both sides are going to have an issue with this to some degree. But if you have an association with them, you can't have gone through this whole issue and then say, oh, it's no big deal.
Yeah. Your explanation's correct. Members protect members. But at the very day when they're saying we're the party that says people over the powerful, don't protect insiders, let people who dealt with Jeffrey Epstein lose their place in society. The very day they're saying this is our big triumphal win, they're protecting a powerful person who had a close contact with Jeffrey Epstein and gave a ridiculous explanation of it.
Well, but hold on. No one's accusing her. She was getting advice in a hearing about asking a witness questions. She wasn't saying, hey, when's the party tonight? There's one person so far. There's two. There's Bill Clinton. Donald Trump's the only one who's been photographed at parties with Jeffrey Epstein. More people may come out, but you guys, the plot's getting shifted. There's one president of the United States, right? There's one president of the United States who repeatedly made this an issue and now can't control the conspiracy theories. But his involvement is black and white, meaning we have photos. Right. So that's why the public is asking questions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that's politics.
Right? I mean,
what?
Well before there were accusations about what he was doing.
Oh, maybe.
We'll see.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.